don't expect me to save the world. Now they regard me as a goddess, and they always give me love for free. And they say, you are what you are, and that's all you ever need. Fierce like a warrior, and soft as a sunbeam. Everything you've ever been, and everything you'll ever be is holy, 'cause you are a goddess, babe. To be just me, rule my world from a place of reverie, forgive myself unconditionally and learn from my mistakes. But then the movies tell me I should look like her and laugh like her. If I'm a quiet beauty, all will surely fall in love with me. But the people love me best like the way I laugh, and they don't care what I wear. They rather see me loud and proud and mistake the light and pretty. And they say, you are what you are, that's all you ever need. Fierce like a warrior, and soft as a sunbeam. Everything you've ever been, and everything you'll ever be is holy, 'cause you are a goddess, babe. Hey. To define, you are the one you've been waiting for. You are the love of your life. You are what you are. That's all you ever need. Fierce like a warrior, soft as a sunbeam. Everything you've ever been, and everything you'll ever be is holy, 'cause you are holy. And your
Good morning. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Did you, like I, go onto your, whatever your preferred ancestry DNA site is and see what percentage Irish you are? No? Just me. Okay, great. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Welcome to New Thought Center for Spiritual Living. It is an absolute joy, a joy to be in community with you this day, and for you in our world community to be with you this day as well. Reverend Shannon is not here today. She is on a well-deserved vacation, but she texted me this morning and said, please give them all my love. So here's your Reverend Shannon hug this morning, and we bless you on your travels, Reverend Shannon. If you are new or new-ish here, I want you to know that you've stepped into an inclusive, progressive, and compassionate community where we celebrate you, your life, just as you are. There's so much information about us on our website, newthoughtcsl.org, or if you're here in the building, we have information tables, practitioners, just anybody, such a welcoming and loving community. We're here. If you have any questions, ask any of us. Let's see. You know, this is the time in our service where we acknowledge that this land that we are on, that we make our home on, is the ancestral land of the Kalapuya people. And at New Thought Center, we honor indigenous culture and experience and sovereignty. Let's say our vision and our mission together. If you like, join with me as we anchor in who we are and why we do what we do. Our vision, recognizing our oneness. We envision a world that works for everyone and all creation. And our mission, providing spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. High and holy work we're about this day. I want to say hello to our online community. We are so glad that you have tuned in this day. And our hosts, our moderators today, are practitioner Annette Nelson and practitioner Cindy Gomez. Thank you. I know that y'all are in Colorado thawing out from that snowstorm, and so take some warmth from us here in Oregon. And thank all of you who are joining us online this day. We have something new I'm really excited to share with you today. In the hallway, for those of you who are here in the building, we have a table out there with some noise-canceling headphones. So for everyone in the room today, know that we have headphones that can reduce overall noise. If that's a need for you, we have that provided. So they're available in the lobby for your comfort to enjoy during the service. So I'm so excited that we have that now. So please silence your cell phone as I invite the wonderful practitioner Dana Butler up to open us with a blessing this morning.
Good morning. What a beautiful day. Can't beat it, right? All right, let's just take a deep breath in. And you can close your eyes or gaze down, but just relax your shoulders. Just relax into where you are right now. And what I know right now is that we are surrounded by spirit. We are surrounded by light. We are supported by that universal intelligence, that perfect presence that says yes to love, that says yes to compassion, yes to resilience, yes to we don't give up it, and yes to the possibility of each and every one of us being light in the world and each day shining even brighter. And I know today practitioner Shelly's talk will fill us with new ideas, new inspirations, new moments of reflection that allow us to continue to be light soldiers in the world. And I am so grateful for all the ministries it takes for this day to happen, the music, audio, visual, volunteers, practitioners here and online, office staff, all of us together in this sacred, sacred, beautiful space where we get to be together, grow together, and serve together in light. And so it is. And now it is time for our spiritual practice. It is prayer put to music. So stand as you are able and enjoy this beautiful music.
My body, my soul, are part of a perfect whole. My heart and my hands are serving a sacred plan. I know that it's true when all that I am comes down to you. I know that it's true. I know that I can rely on you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, all I give to you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, all I give to you. My thoughts and my mind belong to eternal time. My words and my song, you're writing them all alone. I know that it's true when all that I am comes down to you. I know that it's true. I know that I can rely on you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, all I give to you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, all I give to you. So completely I surrender to the one and my highest power. So completely I remember all the love of my soul's creator. So completely I surrender to the one and my highest power. So completely I remember all the love of my soul's creator. All that I am, all I give to you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, all I give to you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, all I give to you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, all I give to you. And so it is.
The reading today is from poet Shelly Harkin. This is called Wild Grace. Put me amidst life's simplest things that give their lives to blooming or quietly glowing without reaching for a name. Open me in this way that allows silence to be a deep source of nourishment. Let me gather the great bundle of my every mistake and shortcoming into my arms like a vast bouquet and thank it for making a gentler, more honest place out of my heart. I want no spiritual mastery, but to be porous like the earth to the nourishing rain. Dear God, if you please, no more of this distance. Plant yourself in my body. I want nothing but to be alive with wild grace.
Thank you, Helen. As we bring Darcy up, I would like to acknowledge our musicians and our singers. Please give it up for Brandon, Adrian, and Dennis. Now, on backups, we've got Kate Kuipers and Melissa Allen. So nice to have you with us this morning.
You defy the impossible, got a heart unstoppable. You are more than ready, not just a fighter, not just a dreamer, amazing creator, relentless believer, and who I am and what I got inside. Dream, see, write, live the story. Every day keeps unfolding, unfolding. Make it your own. The power is all yours. Dream, see, write, live your story. Dream big and live your story. So many roads for you to pave. Let them all go your way. You are more than ready. Hey, look in the mirror, can't get much clearer. Beautiful treasure, one of a kind on earth. I'm setting free what I got here inside. Oh, dream, see, write, live the story. And every day keeps unfolding, unfolding. Make it your own. The power is all yours. Dream, see, write, live your story. Dream big and live your story. There's only one, there's only one, there's only one, there's only one. You are unique, set your fire free. You got what the world needs, and it's time you see that there's only one. Dream, see, write, live the story, your story. Oh, every day keeps unfolding, unfolding. Make it your own. The power is all yours. Dream, see, write, live your story. Dream big and live your story. There's only one.
I couldn't let today pass without sharing a little reading from one of my very favorite Irish philosophers and poets, John O'Donoghue. And this is a snippet from his book, Anam Cara, where he writes, "In everyone's life, there's a great need for an Anam Cara, a soul friend. In this love, you are understood as you are, without mask or pretension. The superficial and functional lies and half-truths of social acquaintance fall away. You can be as you really are. Love allows understanding to dawn, and understanding is precious. Where you are understood, you are at home. And when you really feel understood, you feel free to release yourself into the trust and shelter of the other person's soul. Consequently, love is anything but sentimental. In fact, it is the most real and creative form of human presence. Love is the threshold where divine and human presence ebb and flow into each other. Anam Cara by John O'Donohue. This morning, an Anam Cara of this community, Irene came in with this beautiful, beautiful flower arrangement. I love daffodils. And she said, brighter days are ahead for those who are struggling. And I take that, soul friend, as a message, not only for those of us who are here right now listening to this, but also for those all around the world. Brighter days are ahead, and we will work together to ensure that brighter days are coming. So, my soul friends, this gift from Irene this morning, my friend. We are currently in the midst of a 3-week exploration. This is week 3 of Reverend Shannon and I doing talks on this beautiful little book called The Amen Effect. The Amen Effect. If you haven't yet picked this up, I know Carolyn let me know we have a few still in our bookstore for those of you who are here. But this beautiful little book, so the first time I listened to it while I was doing other things a few weeks ago, and I was so touched by it. And then I went back and I read it. And then I went back and I read it again. This is one of those books. This is one of those stories. And Rabbi Sharon Brous leads a beautiful community in Los Angeles, and I'm really inspired by her work and by her community. In week 1, Reverend Shannon talked about the holy work of not running away. Ooh. The holy work of not running away and of not looking away, and the power of bringing the casserole. I come from a casserole bringing people. This is how we show love, is by bringing casseroles and chastising you into doing the right thing. But the way Sharon Brous talks about bringing the casserole is about just showing up. Just keep showing up. Keep showing up for yourself and keep showing up for each other. Reverend Shannon taught us that any act of kindness is actually Spirit working through us. Every single act of kindness is Spirit working through us. Then last week, Reverend Shannon asked us, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Because we recognize that something is asked of us by this wild and precious life. And so what are we waiting for to stand up, to say yes, to living our purpose? She taught us that we may be surrounded by darkness, but that doesn't mean that we have to let the darkness in us. And I think that's an important lesson for us to remember at this time in history. And Reverend Shannon reminded us that joy is a choice. Joy is a choice, and we have every right to make it. I really appreciated that permission. This week, we're going to talk about some more ideas from Rabbi Sharon's beautiful book, and I want to start with this idea that she has called bearing witness. You know, we talk about bearing witness, but it's really about showing up with our presence. But in this book, Rabbi Sharon talks about the story of Jacob and Esau from the Torah, from the book of Genesis. For those of you who didn't spend your entire summers in Vacation Bible School memorizing Bible verses, I'm going to help you out a little bit and tell you some of the story. Esau and Jacob were twins, and they were born to Isaac and Rebekah. And Esau was the firstborn, and he was kind of into taking care of the animals of the family. And Jacob was the secondborn twin, and he was more into farming and agriculture. And so they each kind of took on different roles in the family. But in the Jewish tradition, the inheritance would go to the firstborn son at this time, and it was just a given. And so the firstborn son was given the family blessing, and this blessing was really, really important. But Jacob, they're twins. He didn't think it was fair. Just because Esau was born 2 minutes before him, why should he get the blessing and not Jacob? So, but when the time came for Isaac to give his blessing, at that point he was getting elderly, he was losing his vision. And so sneaky Jacob wrapped himself in a sheepskin and went and pretended to be Esau. And he stole Esau's inheritance and his blessing. And as you can imagine, this caused a rift in the family, and Jacob ended up moving away. He took his inheritance and he left. And he lived far away for about 20 years. For 20 years, Jacob stayed away, and he realized he needed to make some amends. So he sent a messenger to his brother, and he said, "Hey, Esau, I'm going to come for a visit." And he gathered all of his household, which at that time, I don't even know how many wives it was. It was a lot. And he had a lot of children, like dozens of children. And he had his armies, his household armies. He just gathered it all up, and they started traveling back towards where Esau lived. Well, Esau heard his brother was coming and gathered his armies and headed out to meet him. Well, Jacob heard that Esau and his armies were coming, and he got a little, I think rightfully, afraid. And so what he started doing is every morning he woke up and he sent Esau a gift. "Here are 20 goats. Please don't kill us all." Every morning. And they just kept traveling towards each other and traveling towards each other. And every morning, Jacob woke up and sent Esau gifts and sent him gifts. And Esau just kept coming. Well, it finally came to the night where Jacob knew that the next day they would finally come to meet each other. And he was nervous. And he went to bed, and he was visited. Some say he was visited by an angel. Some say he was visited by his guilty conscience. But either way, Jacob wrestled with this angel all night long, like wrestled to where he actually was physically injured in the wrestling of him with himself. And finally, as dawn was approaching, the angel was like, "I gotta go. It's time to go." And Jacob finally grabs the angel, holds it down, and says, "I will not let you go until you bless me. I won't let you go until you bless me." And so the angels gave him a blessing. He gave him a new name, and he showed him the effect he had had on the people around him. And Jacob took that as a blessing. "I will not let you go until you bless me." After every battle that we have in this life, some blessing will emerge in the morning. It must, right? This doesn't mean that we suffer so that we can receive blessings. I just want to take a minute on this. I do not believe in a God that sends us trouble to learn from. I do not believe in a God that sends other people trouble for me to learn from. I do not believe that this is the activity of love, and yet I do believe that trouble comes and we learn from it. Do you see the difference there? This is a really important difference because it makes the difference in your mental and emotional health. The difference between believing that evil is given to us by a divine power so that we can learn and grow. This is a to me kind of consciousness. That life happens to me so that I can grow from it. What I'm inviting us into this morning is an and consciousness. Life happens and I grow. You see, there's no judgment value placed on the lifeiness. The life is just lifey. And I get to grow. Isn't that marvelous? And the change that this makes in your mental health is powerful. It's powerful. Reverend Sharon says, I do believe that we have the opportunity after every struggle to orient towards the blessing. There's always something to learn, some way to grow. And so the invitation for us is to consider, how do we orient ourselves towards the blessing? How do we do that? I'm going to do one of my practitioner Shelly true confessions. Someday I'll write the book. When we received the medical diagnosis that fundamentally changed our family forever, when we received that diagnosis, there was a little piece of me that said, but this isn't supposed to happen to us. But this wasn't supposed to happen to me. And I felt shame about that. And that shame kept me from connecting with people to support me in my grief. And what I have come to realize now, after this almost decade of wrestling with my angel, is none of us, not a single one of us, I don't care how clean your consciousness is, life is still going to happen. And we still get to grow. And we still get to learn our lessons. There is no getting out without life happening. And why would we want it? How much have I grown? How much have I learned? How much closer am I to my husband as we have shared this journey together? Why would I want it any other way? So I just want to, a little bit of permission, if you will. There is no place for shame in a diagnosis. There is no place for shame in a failed relationship. There is no place for shame in a failed business. Life happens, and we get to grow. And isn't it marvelous? Isn't it marvelous? We all have our angels to wrestle, every single one of us. But notice at the end of that story, he doesn't just conquer an angel. That's not what the story's about. The story is he was blessed by getting a new name. You know what a new name is? It's a new beginning. It's a new story to write for ourselves. So he was blessed with a new name, and he was blessed by understanding. We're going to talk a little bit later about how important understanding is. So for some of us, we all have our angels. For some of us, it's the diagnosis. For some of us, it's a layoff. For some of us, it's a really tough relationship. For some of us, it's our teenagers. Not me, of course. Other people. Loss is hard, y'all. Relationships can be hard. Grief is hard. But what I know is that we were never meant to navigate these hardships alone. And that's why I'm inviting us to let go of anything that looks like shame or guilt. in these life situations, because there is nothing that should be a barrier between us and the community, our Anamkaras who love us. Rabbi Sharon talks about the power of witness. The power of witness. She said it's not our job to save each other from suffering. It's not our job to heal or distract. We just need to be with each other. That's all we need. She said, when your instinct is to avoid or deny, you must not look away. When you're inclined to false hope or good cheer, choose sincerity and quiet presence. When you think you have the answers, ask a question. When you think you have the answers, ask a question. You know, when we received that diagnosis for our family, it was difficult for me to think about how I was going to tell people, because what I knew, and there was wisdom in this, was that I didn't have the bandwidth to handle your reaction. I needed you to do that part. And I couldn't do that with you. And so I was very careful about how I told and who I told. And some people who I love dearly received an email, because that was the best I could do. And that's okay too. But when I texted my oldest friend, my Amy, who has known me since I was 19 years old, she said, I'll be there in 4 hours, because she lives 4 hours away. And she came and she sat with me. And she didn't demand anything of me. She didn't put her emotions into my experience. She just let me talk. And then we talked about how awesome we were going to make the next 20 years and all the fun things we're going to do, right? She just sat with me. She was my witness for that day. And I actually have very few memories of the first week after we got the diagnosis. I was in such shock that I left my body for a while, but I remember that. I remember my friend sitting with me on the deck. And she didn't try to give me answers. She just let me be. And this is how we break the spell of avoidance and denial and find our way to each other. And I imagine that it was really uncomfortable for her. And I didn't think about that at the time, because she was ministering to me, right? I didn't think about her experience. But I think that sometimes we don't reach out because we're uncomfortable and we're afraid we're going to say the wrong thing. And this is where it's an opportunity for us to just stay present. Rabbi Sharon tells a great little story about a time when she was afraid to call someone with a new diagnosis, because she was so afraid she was going to say the wrong thing. And she waited and she waited, and she just felt worse and worse. And finally she called her rabbi, her teacher, and she said, what do I do here? And he said, Sharon, honey, you're thinking about yourself too much. This isn't about you. You create the space for God in you, and you take that into the room. And in that way, you make space for God in the room. I love this. I love this. I love that we make space for God in the room. That's what needs to show up. That's all that needs to show up. Love. And we do that by generating it within ourselves, generating that space, generating that love, and taking it with us. It's easy. It's easy when we get ourselves out of the way. So the practice here is to stay present, to allow discomfort to simply be discomfort, to make space for God in the room. The 18th century Rabbi Nachman of Breslov said, "It's not hard work to distance yourself from another person. The real work is to draw him close and lift him up." To draw him close and lift him up. I'm a recovering running awayer. And it's not hard work to run away sometimes. Sometimes it's the right thing. But it takes emotional and spiritual discernment to know when to stay and when to just be uncomfortable. It's okay. It's just uncomfortable. So what happens when we do find our way to each other and we find that there's like that great divide that some of us are experiencing more and more of in today's world, even as we find healthier and better and more loving connections and community, even while we're doing that, for some of us, we're also finding greater distance. For some, it's political differences. For some, it's this tribalism that is seeming to take hold. For some of us, it's a divide simply because of religious differences. I've noticed in my life that in some ways it happens because I'm not the same person I was when I was close with this person. And so how do I forge a relationship with them based on who I am now as opposed to who I was then? How do I do that? How do we bridge these divides? How do we find our way into each other's hearts still? Rabbi Sharon teaches us that the way to navigate these times, and this is something Reverend Shannon has been talking about, it's to cultivate wonder. To cultivate wonder. Because what we know is that curiosity breeds compassion. So when it's safe, when it is safe, approach with curiosity and openness to learn. What would make me think if I've grown so much that they haven't too? Why wouldn't I be curious and in wonder about their growth and their experience? Why wouldn't I? And what if that bridge is really, really far? Doesn't that call for even more curiosity? This person that I loved, this country that I loved, what happened? How did we get here? Can we talk about it? And in this curiosity, there isn't room for judgment. You know, that doesn't mean that we don't use our discernment, but there's no place for judgment. And we can have these conversations when we're safe. And what do I mean by safe? There's a difference between safe and comfortable. And sometimes we get those confused. We think that discomfort means I'm not safe. So how do I want to say this? Discomfort can sometimes mean that you're not safe. We need to pay attention if there's discomfort in our bodies to know that we are safe in the world. That's important, basic human physiology. However, sometimes we mistake our emotional discomfort for meaning I'm not safe to have this conversation, when in reality, we're just uncomfortable. Discomfort is not a condition to be fixed. Discomfort is a tool that shows you where your growth is. It is okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay. Eventually, there can be a time when you learn to relish it because it means that you're learning something, that you're growing. So it's a tool. Discomfort is simply a tool that shows us where our growth is. So the practice that Rabbi Sharon offers us is to breathe and stay at the table. To breathe and just stay at the table if it's safe, if it's really safe. So we talked about bearing witness. We talked about the power of wonder. And I want to finish with a beautiful story that she tells in the epilogue. Brian Stevenson is the executive director of the Equal Justice Initiative, which is a human rights organization in Montgomery, Alabama. And he helped to build the Legacy Museum and the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to help Americans reckon with our complicated and painful history. I strongly recommend that you go to the website, just Legacy Museum, Alabama is the search that I did. And there are some videos on there that are powerful. And I had to remember what Reverend Shannon said about when you enter the temple and everyone who is full of joy is going this way and everyone is full of sorrow goes this way, and when you meet, that you don't look away. And looking at some of these videos, I had to remind myself to not look away, to be present to some of the pain, because this is how we heal. So that's the Legacy Museum in Montgomery, Alabama. But she tells a story. He came to talk at her community. And she tells this story. And I could tell you the story, but every time I practiced it this week, I broke down into tears. So I'm going to read it to you instead today. Forgive me. As Brian's team was building the Legacy Museum, volunteers were sent across the American South to collect soil from lynching sites, places where Black men, women, and children were murdered in the Jim Crow South in the era of racial terror. He described sending one middle-aged Black woman to a remote site in West Alabama to collect soil. As she knelt on the ground to begin, a white man in a truck drove by, slowed down, and then stopped his truck and turned around. She was terrified when this man pulled over and approached her, asking what she was doing. With all of her courage, she replied, "This is where a Black man was lynched in 1937, and I am going to honor his life." The man paused, and then, to her surprise, asked if he could help her. He knelt down by her side and picked up soil with his hands, carefully placing it in the jar. And when she began to cry, he apologized for upsetting her. "No, no, no, you're blessing me," she said. The two of them dug. Finally, he turned to her and said, "I'm just so worried that it might have been my grandfather who participated in lynching this man." Now they wept together. At the end of the day, they returned to Montgomery together to place the jar of soil in the museum exhibit where it stands today. And Rabbi Sharon asks, how was this woman able to see the man's humanity through her anguished heart? And how was he able to see her through his own guilt and shame? After I read that story for the third time, I sat and I just put myself in the shoes of that woman for a moment. And what courage it must have taken her to stay. Not to run away, not to come back in the dark of night, but to say, I have every right to be here and I'm doing something precious and wonderful. To not apologize, to not diminish, but just to stay. And then I imagined I was the man in the story. And as a white woman who was raised in the South, this was harder for me. I imagine the courage that it must have taken him to stop, to ask, to get curious, and then to help. To set aside his own guilt and his own shame and his family's shameful history, and to just ask. And then I imagined what it must have been like for these two strangers working side by side in this grace and absolution that comes when we open our hearts to one another, when we have the courage to stay, when we have the courage to ask, when we have the courage to mourn together. Rabbi Sharon said, in order to build the beloved community out in the world, we need first to build it in our own hearts and homes. I love that. I love that. Because as they lifted that old soil together, they were beginning to put to rest an old story of separateness, of segregation, of hate. As they lifted that soil together, they began to lay the foundations of a new story for that piece of land. So I have a question. You know, earlier we talked about how all of us have our angels to wrestle with. All of us. None of us, even you, have your story. And so the question becomes, what do you need to do to begin to put that old story to rest? Because is that story of fear and separation serving anyone? It's certainly not serving you. There is no room anymore, loves, for the separation and the fear. So what do you need? What do you need to begin to put an old story to rest? What do you need to accept? What do you need to let go of? What do you need to accept about yourself? Maybe you need to accept an apology that you were never offered. What do you need to accept about the world? What do you need to forgive? And what do you need to embrace? I really believe that this is how we make room for God in ourselves and in our stories, is we set to rest the old ways of being. We set to rest anything that looks like separation, anything that looks like fear, anything that looks like hate. And we just make room for love, Anam Cara love, soul friend love. This is how we write the new story. It's by transforming, using the presence of love itself. And once we lay the past to rest, once you invite love to the table, then you have the power and the wisdom to write a whole new story, a story that tells the whole truth of you, the glorious truth of you, and who you are now, and who you choose to be now. And this story reveals your power and your purpose, your courage and your compassion. And that story serves not only you, but the entire world. I'm going to finish today by reading you the final paragraph of the epilogue of this book. Y'all, seriously, you need this book in your life. It's a beautiful, beautiful teacher. Rabbi Sharon Brous finishes her book like this. She says, that is precisely what we must do now. Put to rest an old story, loneliness, isolation, polarization and extremism, broken politics, an ailing spirit, and in its place, lay the foundation for a new story, one in which we see each other in all our bruises and all our beauty. See each other, not despite our own broken hearts, but precisely because our hearts are broken too. See each other not only because we can, but because we must. say amen to one another's sorrow and celebration, because we understand that's what it means to be bound up in the bond of life. And because we know that is the only way to build a society of love and justice worthy of each and every one of us. Amen. What I didn't tell you earlier about Jacob and Esau is that when they met the next day, Esau had already forgiven him. He didn't need gifts. He didn't need amends. He had already done the forgiveness work for himself. And I believe that the reason he brought his strong army is because he wanted to show his brother that he had succeeded. And he was proud of himself. And he wanted his brother to know that he had written a new story for himself. So there was only space in the relationship for reconciliation. This activity of writing a new story is powerful. It's powerful. So let's lay what no longer serves us to rest. I'd like to invite the practitioners forward. I'm going to speak a prayer, a blessing on this time. And in this prayer, I'm going to invite a new way of being, a new way of thinking. And you can choose to be a yes, or you can choose to be a not yet, or you can choose to be a no way practitioner, Shelly. You are at choice. But the invitation is here for a new story for yourself, for your life, to put away the stories of pain, to put away the stories of separation, and to allow the goodness, the grace, the Godness in you to start to tell a new story. Because how very, very good it is to know that there is this loving presence everywhere present, this one life everywhere present, this living love, this grace that goes by many names. Whatever we call it, its nature is love. Its nature is creation. Its nature is peace itself. And so what a glorious thing to recognize that this love, this grace, this peace, it resides in me. It lives in me because it is infinite, everywhere present. That means I am peace. I am love. I am grace. When I remember. And just as this is true of me, it's true of each one. This infinite love is infinite. It's everywhere, and it's right where we are. Love and grace and peace. And so it is in this love, it is in this transformational presence of the divine that we simply ask ourselves, what needs to be let go today, right now, so that I can lay a firm foundation for a new story for myself, for my neighbors, for my community, for my country? What needs to be let go of in me? And for each one of us who has the courage to be a yes for the letting go, I celebrate. And for each one of us who is a not yet, I need to think about this. Well, I know that God is in that too. In time, on time, God's time. But what I know is that as we each become present and available to what is ours to do, what is ours to release, what is ours to embrace, what is ours to love, we are made new. We get to write a new story. We get to teach the world about this new me, this new story, this new reality of love. And it's glorious. And so for all of the places on the world this day that are teaching, celebrating, learning about this love, this sacred yes, this sacred activity, this healing activity of the divine this day, I say, Ashe. Blessed be. How grateful I am to know that this love is celebrated in a million different ways. And that in this diversity of celebration, there is strength. And with wonder, I watch it strengthen all of us. So for this activity of the divine this day, I'm so truly grateful. For this community that celebrates love this day, I am profoundly grateful. And most importantly, for the courageous yes. For every yes, I am so grateful. And in this sacred and profound yes, we let it be. Blessed be. And so it is. Blessed be. Blessed be. Okay. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, practitioners. All right, y'all, this is our time for conscious giving. For those of you who are joining us all around the world, for those of you who are here in the building, thank you so much for your gift that makes all of this possible. Not just the Sunday services, not just the classes, not just the pastoral care, but all of the programs that we do are because of you, because of your contribution, and I'm so grateful. There are many different ways to give. You'll find them on our website, newthoughtcsl.org. You can text to give at 503-966-3236. But whatever yours gift is, please know it's received with such love, such gratitude. I invite you to, if you like, place your gift on your heart. And let's speak a blessing on all of the gifts that are received this day. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. All right, Darcy.
Can't read my mind while I'm undefined. I'm just beginning, the pen's in my hand, ending unplanned. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with words unbroken. Today is where the book begins, the rest is still unwritten. Yeah. Well, I break traditions. Sometimes my tries are outside the lines. Yeah, yeah. I've been conditioned to not make mistakes, but I can live that way. Oh, staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book out the dirty window of the summer illuminate the words that you cannot find, reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions and feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with eyes wide open. Today is where you're looking. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with hearts wide open. Today is where your book begins. The rest is still unwritten. The rest is still unwritten. Yeah. The rest is still unwritten. Ooh, the rest is still unwritten.
My. Thank you. Well, we have some announcements. Though I was an elementary school teacher for many years and can read backwards, I cannot read upside down. So now we're on our way. The visioning for our new women's group is today at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it will be in the Learning Center Fireside Room. It will be in person and online, and will be led by practitioners Terry Christopher and Barbara Buckingham Hayes. Light lunch will be served downstairs before the class, and then we'll rendezvous in the Fireside Room. And the Zoom link can be found on our website, newthoughtscsl.org. And we're having a grounds cleanup work party this Saturday, March 23rd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., rain or shine. Please sign up at the information tables or on our website so we know you're coming. You're invited to honor someone special in your life by bringing an Easter lily in remembrance on Easter morning and placing it on the platform. You're welcome to take the lily home afterwards. You can order it online on our website, and we will shop for you. And we have a very special announcement from practitioner Melissa Allen.
Thank you. I can't read upside down either. Let me fix that. Well, I just finished as the teaching assistant for the wonderful Beyond Limits class that just concluded. And I had so much fun that I signed up to be the technical TA for an upcoming exciting CSL certified class, which is beginning on April 1st. So come join Rev Shannon as she explores the 7 spiritual laws of success based on the book by Deepak Chopra. This powerful course is designed to deepen your spiritual connection and help you gain a practical understanding about spiritual laws that govern our universe. The class will be held both online and here in person at the center on Monday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Pacific Time, April 1st through April 29th. And I heard from the Easter Bunny that those who sign up between now and March 28th will receive a $10 savings on registration. This is not an April Fool's joke. So for more information or to sign up online or sign up for this wonderful course, please join us online at our website, newthoughtscsl.org. Thank you.
Thank you. Yay. Great book if you haven't read it. And last but not least, we are so excited about this one. Save the date. The one and only Shalon Harkin will be our special guest right here at our center. Rev Shannon began sharing Shalon's work back in 2020. We're big fans of her poetry around here. You do not want to miss this special evening, Friday, April 12th at 7 p.m., in person and online, and her books are available in our bookstore. Tickets will go on sale next week. I do believe we have this in the bookstore. Her other books are self-published, but she will have them at the event for sale. Thank you.
Thank you, Practitioner Dana. I own 3 of her books. They are amazing. Shalon Harkin, an amazing, amazing soul. So not only are you going to want to book, but definitely save that date. You're going to want to be here when she's here. It's going to be an amazing, amazing evening. All right, y'all. I want to thank all of you who are here in person who braved 217. I don't know what is happening with the roads, but bless us all. And I want to thank all of you who joined us online today. Y'all are joining us from all around the world: Mexico, Colorado, Nebraska, Florida, Arizona, Germany, all around Oregon. Thank you so much for being part of this community. Your presence matters. I want to thank our online practitioners today, our moderators, practitioner Annette Nelson and Cindy Gomez. Thank you for your service. And I would like to invite the practitioners in the room to come forward, those of you who are going to be available for prayer afterwards. And the online practitioners are also going to be available for prayer in a private breakout room just for you. Details are in the chat box, and we'll have prayer here for any of you who might need prayer around what story you're letting go of and what story you're ready to anchor in. Y'all, visit the bookstore after this and head downstairs. Here in the room, after service is over, this space turns into a quiet space for prayer and meditation. And so we invite you to either stay for prayer, or please join us downstairs in our community hall for nosh and coffee. I saw Pam sneak off, which means there's something fabulous to munch on down there. Hey, Sandy, Irene told me, who needs the flowers today? And I said, our birthday girl does. So these are for you to take home with you, my love. Happy birthday, Sandy. All right, y'all, please stand as you're able for our final blessing. Practitioner Dana, thank you. May you go in the light, as the light, and with the light until we meet again. May the long-time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way. You are loved.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm